Okay, this is lesson 3, area of a trapezoid. We're going to learn the formula for it and to be able to figure out the area of any trapezoid. We've done the area of a parallelogram, the area of a triangle, and now we want to do a trapezoid. So the formula is this. A equals 1/2 times height, parentheses, base 1 plus base 2. Now your two bases are the parallel lines. See how this line and this line are parallel? This one is not parallel to this one. So there are no parallel lines there. So your two parallel lines are your bases. Base 1, base 2. And the distance between those two that form a right angle would be your height. Okay? And once you have all those numbers, you can put it together and solve. There's one other way that you could write this. You could do area equals height, parentheses, base 1 plus base 2, divide it by 2. This is the same way as saying 1/2 times height times parentheses base 1 plus base 2. Okay? Let me show you examples. So we have this trapezoid here, and we have a parallel line there, parallel line there. Those are my two bases, and then the forms the right angle is the height. So height, base 1, base 2. So I have all my numbers. I plug it in the formula, 1/2 times my height, which is 7, and then parentheses, my two bases. Put my bases together, it gets 17. So it's 1/2 times 7 times 17. I do that, it gets me 59.5 inches squared. Okay, let's do another example. Find the area of this trapezoid. So we have parallel lines right there. So I got my two bases. Here's a base, and then I formed a line from one base to the other that forms a right angle. So there's my height. So now I just have to multiply all of that together, doing it in the formula. So I have my 1/2 times my height, 9.8, and then a parentheses because I got to add my two bases together. So it's 7 plus 12. I do that first because parentheses always go first. So I get 19 there. Now it's 1/2 times 9.8 times 19. I get 93.1 meters squared. Let's look at these. Okay, we want to find the area of this parallelogram, this trapezoid. It's not a parallelogram, trapezoid. So I look at this parallel line and this parallel line. Okay, so there's my bases, 11 and 14, my two bases. My height is from these two with the right angle, so there's my height. Now it's 1/2 times my height, which is 8, times my two bases added together. And when I add those together, it gets me 25. So that equals 1/2 times 8 times 25. Now when I do all that, if I do the 8 times 25 first, 8 times 25 is 200 times 1/2. The area is going to equal 100 centimeters squared. Okay, let's do the next one. So I got some decimals here, but that's fine. I have all my bases. This base, and then I have my height from the two bases that form a right angle. So I can put it all together. 1/2 times my height, which is 4, and then I have to times that by my two bases that are added. 2.5 plus 4.8. So I'm going to add that to that and bring it in here. So 2.5 plus 4.8 equals 7.3. Now I'm going to put these all together. So 1/2 times 4 is 2, and then 2 times 7.3 is 14.6, and we're talking meters squared. All right, last one. Maybe you want to try this one on your own. So pause the video and then come back and see how you did. All right, I have a parallel line here, I got my height from the two parallel lines. So I have my bases. I have everything I need. 1/2 times my height is 0.3. And then I'm going to add my two bases together. 1 plus 0.5. And that equals 1.5 times my 0.3 times my half. Okay, so I'm going to do these two things first. 0.3 times 1.5 equals 1/2 times 4.45. Now I times that by a half, and it gets me an area of 0.225 feet squared. All right. So, just like with the parallelogram and with the triangle, if you have all the parts, but you're missing one, if you're just missing one of the parts, you can figure it out. So let's move on. Let's see what we got here. Maybe we don't know the height, so we're going to find the missing height. And the way you do that is with this formula. If you want to find the height, you take 2 times the area divided by your base 1 plus your base 2. Okay, so that's a new formula. Let's see, I'm missing my height. That's what I want to find, but I have base 1, base 2, and I have the area. Okay, so I put my area 2 times the area, and then I add my two bases together, 12 and 15. So 2 times 108 is 216, divided by 12 plus 15 is 27. When I do that, I get 8. Okay, so this is going to be 8 feet. Then when I have these three things, I could figure out, check it to make sure the area is 108 square feet. Let's see. Let's do these two. Okay. So let's figure out, let's just write the formula. Height equals 2 area divided by base 1 plus base 2. Okay, so I don't have the height, but I do have the area, so it's 2 times 24. And then I have my two bases, 4 plus 12. I can do that right now. So that's 16. So then height equals 48 divided by 16. And when I do 48 divided by 16, it gets me 3. So my height equals 3 centimeters. Just plug it into the formula. Okay, let's do this one. Missing the height. Height equals 2 times the area. So my area is 21. And then I could divide that by my two bases, which is 2 plus 5. Okay? So height equals 2 times 21 is 42. 2 plus 5 is 7. And when I do 42 divided by 7, it gets me 6 yards. Plug it into the formula, and I can get it every time. Here's an example of a county in Florida. It kind of resembles a trapezoid. And so it wants you to find the approximate area based on this trapezoid. I have a parallel line here, and I have my height, which forms a right angle. So all I can do is put in the formula. So 1/2 times my height, which is 51, and then I add my two bases, 48 plus 16. Add those right here. Do the parentheses first. 1/2 times 51 times 64. I do all of that, and it gets me to 1,632 miles squared. Okay? All right, let's do some guided practice. Let's see what we got here. Maybe we'll just do, we'll do these 4. Okay, first one, and you can do these on your own and then come back and see how you did. First one, find the area. I got my two bases, I know my height. All right, so it's 1/2 times the height, which is 8, and then I got to add my bases together. 11 plus 6 equals 17. So now I'm going to do, I could do 1/2 times 8, which gives me 4, times 17. 4 times 17 equals 68 meters squared. Okay, let's look at this next one. I got all the parts that I need. So I'm going to do 1/2 times my height, which is this 8. Parentheses, I'm going to add my two bases, this one and this one. So it's 7 plus 15.6. When I do that, it gets me 22.6. 1/2 times 8. If I do 1/2 times 8, I know that's 4. So now I'm just left with 4 times 22.6. And when I do that, it gets me 90.4. It's feet, and it's squared because it's the area. Let's look at number 3. A trapezoid has an area of 15 square feet. The bases are 4 feet and 6 feet. What's the height? Okay, so I don't know if I have enough room. Well, I'm going to just put it like this. So I know this formula, I need the height. So height is 2 times the area. It says my area is 15. Okay, 2 times 15 divided by my two bases put together. 4 plus 6. And 4 plus 6 is 10. So now I just do this. My height equals 2 times 15 is 30 divided by 10, which my height equals 3. So my height is going to be 3, and we're talking about feet with all these. So it's 3 feet. All right, let's do number 4. This will be our last one. Okay, I can move it just like this. In the National Hockey League, goaltenders can play the puck behind the goal line only in a trapezoid-shaped area as shown in the right. So we need to find the area of the trapezoid. Okay, so I got my base here, I got my base here, I know the height. So it is 1/2 times height of 11, parentheses, I add my two bases, 18 plus 28. When I do 18 plus 28, it gets me to 46 times 11 times 1/2. I'm going to do 11 times 46, and that's going to get me 1/2 times 506, and 1/2 of 506 is 253 feet squared. And that's how much room. Okay? So, hopefully you understand the two formulas, how to find the area of a trapezoid, and if you need to find the height of a trapezoid when you know the area, that's another formula. Okay?